Hello once again, our most valued student. My name is Confident. Welcome to the revision session of the Mathematics N1 paper. This question paper was written in January 2022, and for some of you who wrote this paper, it is a good platform for you to revise it. And I'm going to be going through this whole paper. As you can see, it was written on the 31st and it's a 3-hour paper, so I'm going to be going through this paper. Is made up of I think 8 questions, and you can see it's a 3-hour paper. That's as I'm doing this video, is the latest paper that was written, and I did a review of this paper. Some of you have also gone through it, but now I'm doing the whole memorandum. So you see, this is from question 1, question 2, question 3, then it continues here to question 4. We continue with this is the end. Then we go to question 5 of this paper. As you can see, very interesting questions here. And then we go to question number 6. Also interesting question that you can actually get more information as we are going to be going through the revision of this question. This is question number 7, and then lastly it will end up being focusing on question number 8. Here you can see this is question 8. It goes to the end of that, and it's a total of 100 marks. So guys, I'm revising with you this paper, but a few things that I want to go through with you just before I forget. What I want to do is I'm bringing the whole memorandum of this question paper. It's a full memorandum, and the full memorandum has got 8 questions, so it will be available now to you guys if you're going to become a premium member. So let's say you are part of our YouTube, you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's the first thing I'll advise. Become a member or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then on top of that, become our premium member. So these videos are first available for premium members. Why? Because they contribute to the running of this channel. They contribute monthly contributions, which is not a lot. I think for N1 it goes around between 29 Rand or 39 Rand a month, which is way actually 1 Rand a day. It is way affordable for some of you who are actually wanting to get their marks at a higher level. So if you're preparing for your mathematics N1, I would say become a premium member. You can just subscribe for just a month and then stop the subscription as long as you're going to benefit, since the exams are just around the corner. Remember, failing sometimes is more expensive. Not to talk about the stress, the strain that you go after getting low marks, and the repeating or the rewrite, which even cost you more. So think of subscribing and becoming part of our premium member. As well as we have a textbook, Mathematics N1 for the underdogs, which can be used. It's a full curriculum that comes with videos. It's available on Take-A-Lot. You can use that video. After purchasing it, there is a code which you'll send us. It has got a code there. When you send us that code, we will load it to our Google Classroom, where you will have access to all the videos of the curriculum, including these memorandums. And then also you can go to our website www.24minute.co.za and get more information on how you can get assistance with online classes. We will be conducting our online classes topic by topic, so you can choose the topic that you're struggling with, and then you can just select that topic, you enroll, and then you are ready for the class for that particular topic, not everything in mathematics in N1. So guys, I will encourage you to get help or get assistance from these resources. For now, I did this question for you just as a foretaste to see how the whole memorandum will be. Now go through this question that I'm bringing in here, but remember, to get everything you need to become a premium member. All these videos will be available to you. Thank you again for being part of our support team. We appreciate you a lot. Wishing you all the best in your exams. Remember guys, reaching out is proof of passion. Thank you. Hello once again, our most valued student. My name is Confident. Welcome to the revision of the Mathematics N1 January 2022 paper. And as we've been looking at this paper, this is question number 7, meaning we have been doing the last 6 questions or 6 videos, which I will encourage you to go through if ever this is your first time. And also, just to bring this to your attention, to say there are more resources that you can get help on your mathematics. You can either go to our YouTube channel and become a Prime member so that you can view all these videos. It is first available for Prime members. So if you are not a Prime member, I'll encourage you to do that. And also, we have a test book which is called Mathematics N1 for the Underdogs, which you can use. It is found on Take-A-Lot. You can purchase it, and it comes already with videos. Or you can go to our website www.24minute.co.za and you can find more information on how you can get online lessons which we provide topic by topic. So if you've got a challenge with a specific topic, you can get help from the website where you can register for an online class. Now let's come to this section here and look at the first question, which is question 7.1, and this section focuses on trigonometry. And let's say what it says. It says a straight 15,405 meters ramp is being used. A straight 15,405 meters ramp is being designed for a skateboard course. So you have a course here. They're saying it is 14,5. So it's not showing much, but that ramp here in a way is to say this particular distance. Maybe if I can mark it, this is the ramp from this point to that point. Or let me use a visible marker to say you have a ramp, this particular ramp like that. So this is a straight 15, so that length there is 15,405 meters. As you can see, the person there on the skateboard, it says find the vertical height required to give the skateboard ramp a 55-degree angle of elevation, that is 3 marks. So what are they saying here? They are saying you have this ramp which is 15,405 meters long, and you have an angle here. You have an angle here with the horizontal, and that particular angle they are saying, as you can see, is 55 degrees as indicated. Now they're saying find the vertical height required to give the skateboard ramp an angle of a 55-degree angle of elevation. Now, what is the angle of elevation? Just to be quick, the angle of elevation says, suppose there is this is a tree that you have here, and this is the ground. Okay, let's take the same ground. We have a tree here, and this is the ground. So now suppose there is a bird that is sitting on top of that tree, and you want to observe the bird. So if you want to observe the bird and you are this person here, right, and you want to look at that bird, so we're saying for you to look at the bird, first your eyes are looking horizontally like that. Your eyes are facing horizontally like that. Now for you to look at that bird, you have to raise your eyes like that, and that particular angle from the horizontal to the bird, or the line of the bird, we say that angle theta is the angle of elevation. And the other angle, which is called the angle of depression, suppose you have a stone, there is a stone down there, and now you want to look at the stone. Now from this angle of the horizontal line, you lower your eyes to look or to focus on that stone. That angle, which is from the horizontal to the line of the stone, I'll call it alpha, we say is the angle of depression. I think that. So this is the angle of depression, and the other one is the angle of elevation. So here they are saying, in this question, they are saying the same thing to say, find the vertical height required to give the skateboard ramp a 55-degree angle of elevation. So you start from the horizontal whenever you're looking at the angle of elevation. From the horizontal, you go to the line of focus, which is that 55-degree that they mentioned here. So now they want the vertical height, meaning they are looking for this particular distance here. From this point, the vertical height to that point. So if we are to find this particular distance here, that's what they're looking for, how to find that distance. Now, it's not complicated. This question is actually not complicated, but if I can come and redraw this in a way that will be like this, to say you have a shape like this. All right, so this is what you have. You have a shape like that, and in this particular shape, look at that angle there, 90 degrees. So you have that 90 degrees here, and then this particular angle is 55 degrees. Now you need to understand a triangle. This is a right angle triangle, and you need to understand the sides. So in a right angle triangle, there are 3 sides that you need to know, and it comes from our SOHCAHTOA. And you know that in a triangle, we have the opposite side, we have the adjacent side, and we have the hypotenuse side. So now, how do you identify these sides? Because that's where it is very important. Now, the longest side is called the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse, that's the longest side, but let me use the short version to say it's the hype. That's the longest side, the hypotenuse of a triangle. Then you have to identify your adjacent and your opposite. Now, the word adjacent means look at the 90 degrees first as your focus, because this is only happening whenever there is a 90 degrees. So you look at the 90 degrees and ask yourself which angle lies on the same line with the 90 degrees. You can see that it is that particular angle. They lie on the same line. So we say these 2 angles, they are adjacent to each other. And then the other side that is now left is the opposite side. So there must be a 90 degrees first that you need to identify. From that 90 degrees, then identify the second angle which lies on the same line. For example, suppose there was an angle here. You see, now these 2 are on the same line. Now it would have been the adjacent there and the opposite on this side if we were no longer focusing on 55, but we're focusing on that angle. So you need to know that the adjacent and the hypotenuse can always change depending on your 90 degrees and the next angle that is in line with it. Now, when you have done that, let's go over to our formulas just to have a look at these formulas. All right, so look at this. Whenever you're looking at the ratios of angle, see that they're talking about the ratios of angle. So they're talking about here, this triangle. We'll use this triangle as a good example. It's a right angle triangle. So now they are looking at the longest side. AB is our C. So I can convert that to say, let this be my C, and the other side, you can see the angle is there, so it's identical to that. So we'll call this B. On the other side, I'll call this side my B, and then my A obviously then becomes the other side. So this becomes my A. So now look at this. They are telling us the values of here. They are telling us the ratios to say what is sin theta. Look at this. What is cos and what is tan. But now, before you can use these, you have to ask yourself now, what are they looking for? They are saying they want this particular distance, which we have already identified. They want that distance, and that distance, which is they are looking for A. So here, A, we do not have, but what do we have? We have this distance, which is C, they told us it is 15,405. Are you with me? And then what about B? We also don't have B. Now the question is, what are they looking for? They are looking for A, and you're given C. So this B is unnecessary at the moment because they are looking for C. So we want something that will connect here A and C, and we're looking for those trig ratios which are going to connect A and C. So we come back to our formulas here to look at the one that is connecting A and C. You look at sin theta, it's A over C. Cos theta is B, but we don't have B. Tan theta is A over B. So you can see that the only one that can help us in this case is sine theta, which is A over C. So if I can come and use it here to say on our formula now, to say sine theta is equal to A over C. Now my theta, remember, is given, which is the angle of 55 degrees there. That's the angle there. So you say sine 55 degrees is equal to my A, which is what I don't know, I'm looking for, which is that part from the diagram here. A over C. C, we say it is 15,405. So that's how you simplify that. Then your aim or your duty is to find out what is A. Now, how do you go about that? What I want you to do is you divide this thing over 1 so that you've got fraction on the left hand side and a fraction on the right hand side. Now, since what you want is the top there, the numerator, you do what is called cross multiplication. Let me just make this like this. It is supposed to be, it's better when it's at the center, this equal sign here. And then you do what is called cross multiplication. So if we have that equal sign in the center there, the cross multiplication, now you take A and multiply it with the bottom, the other side, and you take that and multiply with the bottom. So it's 1 times A, which will become A is equal to 15,405 times sin 55. Then it will simply give you now that particular value, which is 15,405 times sine 55. And then there is your answer. Now remember, you need to leave your answer in 3 decimal places, which is 12,619. But I told you how to round off. You say shift setup, then you've got 6 and 3 decimal places is 12,619. So you have A as 12,619. Now you need to have your measurement in meters. Remember, you're finding distance here. So the answer there is 12,619. That is this particular ramp here. All right. So now that was the first part in this question. To say find the vertical height required to give the skateboard and the skateboard ramp a 55-degree angle of elevation. So the angle there is 12,619. It will give that ramp. All right, I hope that was making sense to you guys. Now let's move on to 7.2. And 7.2 says simplify the following without a calculator by using special angles. So they give us that to say sine squared 60 plus 5 over 4. But they don't want us to use a calculator. But of course, that's when you take your calculator and ask yourself, how do I find that? Now, let me show you how you can use your calculator here. If they give you sine squared 60 degrees plus 5 over 4. Now, your calculator cannot calculate that squared like that. So it means you have to write it, or you have to rewrite it and say sine 60, you close and you have squared. You see, like that, plus 5 over 4. That's how you use then the calculator to say, if I can then punch this on the calculator, you see, you can't put a square in between. So you say sine, first you put a bracket and then you say sine. It will have its own bracket, then you close, then you have the squared. You see how it's like, and then plus 5 over 4. That's what I encourage you to do first thing. See, the answer is 2 here with the calculator. This is equal to 2. So let's prove that this is equal to 2. But now you'll be using special angles. So how to use special angles? You come and draw this particular triangle. As you can see, that's the one that comes from special angles, because that's a right angle triangle. So this, actually let's use this one. Okay, there is one specific one, and they are talking about the 60 degrees, so I'm going to focus on that. So I'm going to draw this triangle here to say I have a triangle like this. Just a rough sketch. I know it's not accurate as is. So this is my 60 degrees. Then we have got 1, 2, root 3. I've got 1, 2, and I've got a root 3. Now I'm focusing on 60 degrees, not 30. Remember, they gave me 60. So the special triangle here that I'm having is for 60. So now, how do I work this out? Look at this. I told you, you need to identify your sides to say which is what is what. We are saying this is opposite. Sorry, not opposite. This is the hypotenuse side. Now you have to identify the adjacent side. I told you focus on the 90 degrees and look at the angle which is on the same line. So there are two angles here, the 90 and the 60 on this same line here. This is the line I'm referring to. These two angles lie on the same line, and you say these angles are adjacent to each other, and then the other one then becomes the opposite. You can use that, or you can use what you're given here in terms of back to your sides. Remember, you can see now wherever you have the line of interest, which is our line here, we say this line where the 90 degrees and the angle, we call it B. So I can come here and say this line now is my B, and the longest side here is my C, the longest side. So, and the other one becomes my A. Are you seeing that? Then you look at what the question says. They want sine 60. So you come here and say, what is my sine? And you are told that sine theta is A over C. So I'm going to write here to say sine theta is equal to A over C. Now, how do we simplify this? If we say sine 60, which is equal to, there is sine 60 there, which is our theta, that is now representing our theta. So sine theta is A, which is opposite, over, and then our C is, I don't need to write the A now. It is, my A there is root 3, as you can see, that is what is A there, over my C is 2. I sing that. But you can remember SOHCAHTOA, so, which is says sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So this is my opposite, this is my hypotenuse. Whatever way you use, it will still lead to that. So this is my sine 60. So if I come here now and say this is equal to sine 60 squared, so but my sine 60 is root 3 over 2, so it will be root 3 over 2 squared, see that, plus 5 over 4. Are you seeing what's happening there? Then I can take this further here to say, what is root 3 over 2? They said no calculator, so it's root 3 over 2. Square means it's twice, root 3 over 2, and then plus 5 over 4. Remember, I want to prove that answer there. So, which is equal to, now square root of 3 times square root of 3, you can test with the calculator. A square root times another, like a square root, times a square root over 2 times 2. That's what is happening. Plus 5 over 4. You didn't need to show all this, but I'm just showing you. A square root times another square root is that number inside, which is 3. 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 5 over 4. And you can see the common denominator there is 4. So it is 3 plus 5. and it is 8 over 4, and the answer becomes 2. So that's how you could have solved that. It's not a lot of marks, it's just 2 marks, but it is how you would have proved that you didn't use a calculator on that. So I hope this does make sense to you guys. And then with that, let's wrap up. It's 10 marks. Let's wrap up the last part with 7.3, which says draw the graph of y is equal to sin x or sine x for 0 degrees is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 360. So we are given here our domain or our x value on the graph. Show all the values at the points of intersection with the system of axes and the turning points where applicable. So I'll show you how you answer the second part there. Here to say show, I'll show you how you do that up to there. But now, how do we draw such? If I can have here, I need now my graph paper. Let me just take my graph paper here and say, if I wanted to draw a graph of that nature, how was I supposed to draw it? So this is the graph of sine, which you're supposed to draw. So I'm gonna have my line like this in the center. Remember, you need to have an idea how this graph look like. So they are saying I must start from 0 to 360. So if I can have, I think the most important thing here is to have my table of values first. So without the table of values, it's not going to be making sense how to draw that. So let me have my table of values here. I will be dividing it like that, so that I can have as maximum table of values as possible, so that it will be easier to have a sketch. This is not difficult. As I say, you need to practice sketching such. So I've got this, and remember, this becomes my x and this becomes my sin x. Remember, they told us here you're plotting y is equal to sin x. You can actually say this is our y. In this case, you can remove this simple and call this our y, but you know y is sin x. So now we are looking at this y is equal to sin x, and the calculator here is going to be our guy. So what do we do? The calculator is the one that is helping you to plot this. So you don't need to stress yourself and do whatever, but everything is in the calculator. So look at this. So you say mod table, which is 3, f of x, then you type that sin alpha, there is the x there in that close bracket. You see that? And then you close, equal to, they say where must I start? They said I must start from 0. And where must I end? They said I must end in 360. Remember, they said between 0 and 360 the values of x. And my step, please use 15 because it covers the special angle of 30 and 45. Now you are going to look at the simplified answers. For example, x is 0, f of x, which is your y. That's your y. When x is 0, y is 0. Now look at number 2. When x is 15, y is 0.2588. That's complicated, you can leave it out. But number 3, when x is 30, y is 0.5. You take that one. You continue looking at the simplified one. So let's start here. 0, 0, 30, 0.5. So I've got 0 and 0. At 30, I have 0.5. Then we continue now looking at it again. Going down. Now 45 is also complicated. 60 is complicated. 75 is complicated. 90 is 1. We take that one. 105 we leave it. 120 we leave it. Remember, 90 is 1 if it goes out. 135 we leave it. 150 is 0.5. So it is 90, 1, 150, 0.5. Are you seeing that? So you're taking just the simplified one. 165 we leave it. 180 is 0. I'll take that one. I leave 195. There is 210. So 180 is 0. 210 is negative 0.5. So 180 is 0. 210 is negative 0,5. It's almost done. Then you come here, 225, you leave it, 240, you leave it, 255, you leave it, 270 is negative 1, and after 270, 300, you leave it, 315, you leave it, so 270 is too far now. 270 is negative 1, is minus 1, we continue, and 330 is negative 0,5, 345, you leave it, 360 is 0, so 330 negative 0,5, 360 is 0, 330 negative 0,5, and lastly 360 is 0. Remember, they said x was between 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 360. I'm using that part there, so that's where you end. You don't go further than that. So this was 0. Now when you're drawing your graph, that is where now it comes into the scale to say, where are you starting from along the x-axis, and then where are you starting from along the y-axis. So the x-axis, remember, these are my x values, so I'm starting from 0 to 360. That's where you can divide your line nicely here to say, if I can take this as my line, and what you can do to say, in every 2 here, you can make this your 30 every 2 blocks, and this is my 60, and this is my 90, because the beginning there, remember, it's your 0, 30, 60, 90, and then after 90 it's 120, then I've got 150, then I've got 180 here, then I've got 210, then I've got 240, then I've got 270, then I've got 300, then I have 330. Am I right? 300, 330, then here I have 360. That is where I end. So now I have to plot the values. Remember, these are my y values, so I can make 3 squares here become 1, 2, 3, actually 4 squares. It can become 1, which means half of it is 0,5. I've got more space even here. 2 squares is 0,5, which is minus at the bottom. The other 2 then is become 1. So remember, that is how you come up with you need to come up with a clear graph. You can make this 1 square become 1. For example, this become 1, but your graph will be very small. You just want to make your graph as visible as possible. So let's do it. How do you sketch it? There is the graph here to say this becomes 0, 0, 30 is 0,5. You go to 30 and then you go to 0,5. You sketch there. And then where do you go? 90 is 1. We go to 90 and there is 1. 150 is 0,5. 150, we go to that 0,5. 180 is 0. We are here. 210 is negative 0,5. We are here. 270, which is there, is negative 1, which is here. I hope you are able to see how this graph is shaping up. Okay, so that is that, and I'm just making this clearly. And then the next one was 330 is negative 0,5, which is here, and 360 was 0. So that's what we're having. And when you're drawing this, as you can see, make sure you come across each and every point as smooth as you can. It's easier when you have been practicing with this graph. Okay, so you need to make it as smooth as you can. And what is the name of this graph? You have to label it to say, in this graph, y is equal to sine x. Remember that. So that is how this question was, to say draw the graph of y is equal to sine x between this domain on graph paper. Show all. Now let's do the part now. It says we need to show all values at the points of intersection with the system of axes. So let's do that first with the axis. So remember, we've got the x and the y. So what is the intersection there? So we did show that. We did show that is the intersection by showing 360, 180 and 0. We are showing that. And then something is interesting here. They are saying, and the turning points were applicable. Turning points, that's important. Now I want to show you something here on the turning point. When they talk about the turning point, they are looking at where the graph is turning here. You see that? So how do you show the turning point? You show it in coordinates to say, where is it turning? You can see that it's turning at 90 and it's turning at -1. You start with the x-axis, remember, 90 and +1 actually, and it is this particular value. You do the same thing with the next one, which is here where it is turning. See that? And if you continue with that, it's turning there, and that coordinate is this one here, which is 270 is to -1. So now when you go back, it says where applicable. So this is how you get the 5 marks. It's very important, 5 marks, but you need to show everything that they want. If you want, or you feel like a bit unease on this part which says intersection with the system of axes, so what you can do here, you can also come here and say this is 0, 0, still allowed, and then this is 180, 0, and this is 360 in coordinate form and 0. So you can also do that if you feel like you don't want to take chances just leaving it as 180 like that, as 0 or as 360. So this is how you can make sure that you get all those marks. Guys, it's your calculator more than anything. So now coming back to this to say this was out of 10 marks, and I think you could have gotten all the marks if you did your preparation well. We have come to the end of this section. As I told you, there are more ways you can get assistance. Don't struggle with maths while we are around. I'm here to assist you. You need to reach out and I'll be able to help you. Remember guys, you can go to our website, which is www.24minute.co.za, navigate through and see when is the next class, the online class, and it is topic by topic. Number 2, you can purchase our mathematics N2 for the underdogs. It can help you. And number 3, you can actually subscribe as a premium member on our YouTube channel, and once you become a premium member, these videos will be available. We have come to the end of our lesson. Thank you.